I'm Ashley Park with IdeateTV. We're here at Stanley's Comic-Con, and I'm here with Darryl DMC McDaniels. So Darryl, can you tell me a little bit about what DMC Comics is all about?
Yes, about 3 years ago I went for a music meeting, and it was a meeting that was supposed to be strictly about music. And I met with a young man named Riggs Morales, who was Eminem's A&R, head of A&R over at Shady Records, for the rise of that great empire. And when I sat down, he used these words. He said, "I know I'm supposed to be professional right now. I know this is supposed to be about music business. But D, man, you was like my superhero, man, the way you sounded and the way you look." And I guess he wanted to know more about me because he probably thought it was his only opportunity. He said, "What was it like when you was a little kid?" And I said, "Well, I went to Catholic school my whole life, and all I did was read, collect, and draw comic books." And he said, "Comic books?" And I was like, "Yeah, comic books." We sat there for 3 hours and we talked about comic books. Marvel comic books was a big influence on my life. I went to Catholic school. I got bullied, teased, picked on. Before I rhymed about wearing my glasses, which made glasses cool all around the world, I used to get teased. "Oh, hey, 4-eyes, hey, binoculars." Comic books made me an excellent student because I was reading every day. And it was even at a time where the educators overlooked that fact. They would take the comic books away from the kids and say, "You're supposed to be reading your notebook, your textbooks and your workbooks," which is true. But they overlooked the fact since I was reading every day, it made me an excellent student. I was always on the honor roll, straight A's. Now that being said, I was reading these comic books, and when I was reading these comic books and drawing, and I'm in that world of comic books, life was perfect. The creative imagination, the make-believe, the pretend world that comic books put me in was a reality to me. But it also did something that I did not see coming. It gave me a confidence, and it taught me, especially Marvel, you define yourself with an adjective in life, and then you tell the world who you are. For instance, excuse me, if I say the amazing, you'll say Spider-Man. If I say the incredible, you'll say Hulk. If I say the invincible, you'll say Iron Man. So that was instilled in me. And all of this positive, all the positive images, concepts, and visuals is in me. But I had nowhere to release them until hip-hop came over the bridge. When hip-hop came over the bridge from the Bronx into Queens, it wasn't showbiz to me. I was like, oh shoot, you can tell stories over the microphone about who you are. So everything that I was getting in the comic books, when I came to rock this microphone, my name is Darryl McDaniels. D from Darryl, MC from McDaniels. That's the initials of my name. But when I get on the microphone, I'm no longer mild-mannered Catholic school kid Darryl McDaniels. I transform into the mighty, devastating mic controller. So I started using all these powerful descriptions to describe me on the mic. All of that came from comic books. So when I started making my records, all the Easter eggs has been there for the last 30 years. On King of Rock, I said, crash through walls, come through floors, bust through ceilings and knock down doors. Rappers don't do that, superheroes do that. But I spoke those words on my records, and everything that I was make-believing on those records to be doing as an MC came true in this universe. So I told Riggs all of that, and he said, "Yo, you should do a comic book." And at first I said no. And he said, "Why not?" Because I didn't want to be another rapper thinking just because I got a hit record I could do everything. Because when you commercialize something, it takes away the value and the meaning and the purpose and the real core presentation of it. And a lot of times people will see something that's hot and fun and culturally relevant, and they'll come and suck all the energy out of it just for the money. So Rick said, "That's very honorable of you, Darryl. But since comic books is your first love, then you did the hip hop thing. I think that's something that you can use to communicate the same things you've been doing with your music for 35 plus years. You can do that and more with a comic book." And I said, "What do you mean?" Inspire, motivate, educate, and entertain. So 3 years ago, we started the company, and here's the funny part. The DMC, Darryl McDaniels, devastating mic controller, D's for doing it all of the time, M's for the rhymes, that are all mine, C's for cool as can be, and I wear my glasses so I can see. There was still use for that DMC representation. He said, you can't use Marvel, you can't use DC, you can't use Valiant, you can't use Image. If you was to do, you can't use Milestone. If you was to do a comic book company, what would you name it? DMC. Darryl Makes Comics, because that's what I'll be doing. And that's what I'm here doing. That's how the whole thing started.
That is an amazing story. Thank you so much. Now, if there was one thing that you want DMC to accomplish for kids, what would that be?
I want them not to be ashamed of the gift and the talent and the ability that they have, that this world think is corny, useless, not gangster, not cool. I want them to not be afraid to say I'm an artist, I'm a colorist, I like to draw, I like to play the flute, I like to tap dance. You don't have to be a rapper, you don't have to be a drug dealer, you don't have to be in a gang, and you don't have to be an athlete to make a difference in this world. And don't be ashamed of the thing that you like to do, because there lies your power. If I didn't have comic books, to all you kids out there, if I didn't have comic books, I would have never became the mighty king of rock, one of the most powerful rappers to ever touch the microphone. Now remember, I said make believe. We always get teased. Oh, you into that corny make-believe stuff. And I tell kids, if anybody ever tease you about being corny and make-believe and pretending, beat your chest like King Kong and be proud of it. Because check this out. I was pretending to be the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs will call me sire. To burn my kingdom, you can't use fire, and I won't stop rocking till I retire. Me make-believing that came true. And to sum it up, let me show you the connection. I was sitting there with my comic book, and I said one day, Thor is the son of Odin from Asgard. He got a brother named Loki, and he got a hammer. In real life, I'm Darryl. I live in Hollis, Queens, New York. My father's name is Byford. I got a brother named Alfred, and I got a microphone. So I became son of Byford, brother of Al. Banner's my mother and runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me. So I was writing these make-believe, comic book styled microphone adventures that came true. I want to give an opportunity to every artist, colorist, penciler, anchor, writer, storyteller, dancer, cosplayer, color, everything that is creative. I want to open that world up and let them know, do not be ashamed of imagination and creativity. And the last thing I want to say about all of that, Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in the world, said imagination is more important than knowledge. So some of these kids can't communicate through the ABC, teaching them the normal way, because we are not normal, we are supernatural. So we must use the arts and the creativity and the designing and the innovation and the creation, and more importantly, the imagination, to make this world run and exist.
Darryl, thank you so much. That was incredible.
Thank you for having me. DMC in the place to be, the king of rock, there is none higher. But I just want to let y'all know, DMC, I'm running the streets, and in case you didn't know, I am king of the geeks.
So much passion. I adore you. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I'm Ashley Park with IdeateTV.